Almost all of us who are sitting here this morning had an opportunity to bring lives into the world, and we tried our best to be good parents, right? Unfortunately, when we got married and had children, there was no manual how to raise our children, right? It was not like a microwaves. You buy it, it comes with several pages of how to use the microwaves. That did not happen when we brought children into the world. For goodness sake, even before we learn how to drive and get our license, we go through driver's ed, right? We study, and then we sit down for a test. If you scored it well, then you still have to do some driving test, and then only you get your driver's license. But that does not guarantee that you will not speed and the police will not stop you, or you may not have any accident. There is no guarantee. But when we get married, we don't go through any kind of test, no driving test, no sit-down test. We just do it. And some of us do well, and some of us don't. And then we parents have some functional rules in the house, right? We say to our children, if you want to talk around the table, raise your hand. Well, I'm not saying everybody did it, but some did it, right? Turn off the phone these days. Yes, I have seen when you come to the dining table, there's a little basket, and everybody throws their phone there. And they will not look at their phone until they're done. We teach our children, if you need to go to the bathroom, if we are in a party, in a situation, if you need to go and quickly go to the restroom, if it's number one, show me number one. If you want to do some work, then show number two. But it does not guarantee that mistakes will not be done, right? There are some functional, 1, 2, 3. Children of Israel never asked to be chosen people. They never went and said, God, we are so nice, make us children of your special people. No, they were just chosen by God. And hopefully they will learn how to follow God's ways. They knew Yahweh God was calling them. They knew in their hearts that they were chosen people to carry the covenant of God. But even the children of God failed miserably all through the Old Testament, right? Old Testament is basically a history of failed attempt to be God's people. It's an arduous journey where they just, make something right, but they do 10 different things wrong, right? And their story is no different than our story, right? We also try our best to do the best we can, but, we all come short. And that is why Romans, Apostle Paul talks about, we all come short to the glory of God, right? That's what Romans says. And so, children of Israel, because they were immigrants themselves. God instructed them in various ways that you were once strangers in Egypt before God delivered you, and therefore be nice to immigrants. Don't forget who you are. Be nice. Well, it's always good to say be nice, but it's hard to be nice, right? So in Exodus chapter 22, yes, God reminded them to be respectful to immigrants. And then in Deuteronomy, chapter 10, verse 10 says, he enacts justice for orphans and widows, and he loves immigrants, giving them food and clothing. That means you must also love immigrants because you were immigrants in Egypt. Revere the Lord your God. Serve him. Cling to him. Swear by his name alone. He is your praise, and he is your God, the one who performed these great and awesome acts that you witnessed with your own eyes. Your ancestors went down to Egypt with a total of 70 people. But now look, the Lord your God has made you numerous as the stars in the night sky. God is just trying to humble his own people. Right? That's just trying to raise our children, right? God's children. But still not making it through. So in Deuteronomy 30, verse 15 to 21, there is again long instructions because they have failed all the time, and now God is saying, I am leaving in front of you two different ways. If you go left, then you're going to die. But if you take a right turn, then you will have life. We tell our children the same thing, right? You do this, you're going to have a miserable life. Mommy's not going to be happy. But if you go this way, you'll do well, and we will support you. Right? That's what we tell our children. And this is what God is saying in Deuteronomy 20. I am leaving before you two ways. Which one would you take? Death or life? And what God spoke in Deuteronomy is no different today. We also need to make right decisions. I think all of us have that right intentions about making right decisions at all times. But we also live in the world with lots of sometimes false promises to get rich and have it all. Who don't want to be rich and who don't want to have it all. And so we give it a try. And instead of making you rich, you become poor. Mm-hmm. When I was in Santa Ana, we had close to a dozen support groups in the church building. We had multiple AA group. We have Gambling Anonymous. We have Emotion Anonymous. Just you name it. People who have squandered opportunities God provided them and now struggling to make that U-turn and come around and be responsible in the decisions they make. And so they come together to be accountable to one another. And they say, I'm David, I'm alcoholic, and I'm struggling. Support me. Right? And they pray for one another. They call each other on weekdays, and then they will ask you, how you doing? How you doing? You know. Or how are you holding up? That's even better. How are you holding up? You know. Children of Israel struggled to follow the right path. And so we come to the passage like today. But before I come to this particular text, we need to look at what was the mission God gave to Jeremiah. And I'm just going to read the last part of it. If I can find it. The last part of the call, verse 10. This very day I appoint you over nations and empires to dig up and pull down, dig up, pull down, destroy and demolish, to build and plan. Because my people have done so much bad. I am sending you, Jeremiah, to implement, to revolutionize, to, if you have to dig it, pull it down, demolish, you have to do something so that my people will understand what their purpose in life is. It's tough, isn't it? It's tough. And so Jeremiah goes, wow, that's pretty an ominous task. You know, if God called you to do something like that, what would you do? Probably sweating bullet, trying to figure out how to do. How do I become an instrument and bring some transformation, bring some change, some better perspective? And so, in his confusing state of mind, God tells Jeremiah, okay, go to the potter's house. Go to the potter's house. Look, observe, and study what the potter is doing. Potter have a lump of clay in his hand, and there's a spinning wheel. And this potter gently brings the lump of clay and lays it on the top of the wheel. And with the wet hands, tries to shape and mold the clay into something beautiful. Right? If you have been to potter's house, they do not do anything in random, in a hurry. You need to focus, put your minds, and bring your well-trained hand to shape the clay into a pot. And sometimes, no matter how careful you are, No, it doesn't matter how many times you have done it. Sometimes the clay doesn't really spin well enough to turn that into a beautiful vase or a beautiful chalice, right? But good potters, instead of throwing out of shape, chalice into the garbage, potters basically folds back the clay, smush it up some more, add some little more water, and then back to the wheel, right? Back to the wheel until the perfection comes. What a lesson for Jeremiah to learn. In other words, God is saying to Jeremiah, I am not in the business of destroying lives. I am in the business of restoring lives and reshaping. Even though people have gone astray over and over again, I am still in the business of making things right. That's who God is. That is what God did all through the Old Testament. Trying to shape and reshape the hearts and minds of the people. At times we say, or people ask me, oh, Pastor David, it's so hard. I know it's hard. It is hard to be humble, right? It's hard to be humble. But when God asks for us to be holy unto God, God is not saying to us, do me a favor, be nice. No. God is saying, I am teaching you how to favor yourself. If you learn to be good, it is for you, not for me. If you turn around your life, it will benefit you, your family, your community, your country. Right? It's not a favor for me. I'm trying to do a favor for you. Turn around. I'm leaving two different ways for you. Which one do you want to take? Which one would you embrace? What would really revitalize, transform the way you see the world or the way you see others? See? God is basically saying, I am a potter. Yes, not everything you spin comes out the way you want it. That's true with us. Not everything we put our hands on or we put our minds on, not everything comes out right. Right? Sometimes it's a struggle. But God is saying, I'm not giving up on you, and so don't give up on yourself. Right? God is basically, I'm trying to mold you. I'm trying to shape you. I'm trying to let you see the alternative. And therefore, don't give up on yourself. Things could be better. Lives can be changed. Transformation from within, the metamorphosis can happen. Right? I'm still a friend with him. When we were growing up, he was about 6 foot, and he was this big guy. And he would have his button undone all the way here to his navel, and this is how he walked. And people were scared of him. He was a mean soul. He was a mean soul. If you didn't like it, you'll get it. So, but he had the nicest parents. Just nicest parents. When you look at him and look at his parents, you wonder what the heck happened. These gentle souls have this very ferocious, ugly personality. Just roars wherever he goes. This is what his mom told me. I knew I could not change my son. And so I said, I prayed to God. I prayed that he will have an accident. What kind of accident? That's God's choice. But she said, I pray that a tragedy will come into his life, and maybe then he might turn around. So one day, he and his friends were from the city. They were going out to college campus, and they were carousing as they were driving, and somehow the Jeep just went down the road. He was badly injured. His life could have been ended. But like his mom said, that accident turned his life around. And so, even though he was older, I had gone to the Bible college before he did. So one day I'm in Bible college campus, minding my business, and then who shows up? This guy is not walking like this anymore. He was just walking. And I said, are you lost? He says, no. Isn't this Bible college campus? Yeah. I'm still in disbelief. I'm saying, yeah, this is Bible college. Well, I'm supposed to be here. What? You want to be here? Yeah. I have a call of God. God saved my life. I'm not supposed to be here. God saved my life. And so I want to be a purposeful person. I want to study. And I'm going to wonder what God will do. I said, wow, welcome. He traveled with me all over India. One summer we had traveling vacation Bible school. About 5, 6 of us. We traveled every rural town, and we did a couple of days of vacation Bible school next to the village, next village. A couple of days of Bible school, went to the next village. All on bicycle. All on bicycle. And he told me, David, wherever you go, I will go. Instead of going home for the summer to rest, he said, no, I'll go with you. So whole summer, he hung around with me, and we did, I don't know how many vacation Bible school, but we did. Then he was missionary in Nepal. Now he's missionary in Thailand. He never looked back. See, that's how God is. God is in the business of changing lives, making things new. That is what God was trying to communicate to Jeremiah. Yes, we are just a lump of clay in the hands of God. Things might not always turn the way we think it is, but God will help us shape it if we are willing to work with God. I know I'm not going to be a 6-footer. I'm just still going to be me, but my life, I know, will be better. That is what Jeremiah is trying to communicate to us. And that's the sermon for today. Are you clapping because it is done?